I mean, I don't know how the producers of the show feel. I don't know what kind of obligation he had, how they felt about it. But me as a human being, seeing that he canceled, I mean, you have the whole world attacking you, or what feels like the whole world attacking you. Do you really want to stand in front of the firing squad for more attacks? It's special for me because I am a working mom and wife, and I feel anytime you can get the ear and the brain to pick away at someone who fits any, or if not all three of those categories, it's always a sisterhood where you exchange tips and advice and history and stories, and it's just a bonding experience. So when I was asked by Megan, who I admire, had done an event with her and modern day wife a year ago on Zoom, at first I was like, yeah, and then Omicron, I was like, no, and then she called me again, and I was like, maybe, and then I was like, probably not a good idea, and then she called me again, and I said, you know what, I'm feeling okay with it, because I had gone back to work a month earlier, and I said, if I can leave the house to do Celebrity Big Brother, then I can definitely leave the house here and support another modern day wife and mom. Well, my advice has changed over the years. Before COVID-19, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was saying. I don't know what I was thinking. It was kind of just like, take one day at a time. And then COVID-19 happened, and I think like most people, you kind of put your priorities in a different order. So now that we are trying to find a new normal, my advice is, don't sweat the small stuff. Things that were so important, at least to me personally, before the pandemic are not so important anymore. So my advice today is, I think we need to stop and pause and look at how the world really God hit the pause button on life as we know it globally. So today, you just have to realize, you know what, anything you're fearful of or anything that gives you anxiety, you're not alone. Don't sweat it. Control what you can, and whatever you can't, you just have to take it one step at a time and let it roll off your back. And don't do mental gymnastics. Stop playing something over in your head that you either can't control, or stop playing over something in your head that didn't go the way you had hoped. Move on, move forward. I definitely envisioned pretty early on that Misha would take it to the very end. I think, look, it's a fast forward version of Big Brother, and I thought probably, I don't know, 7 to 10 days in, which is a third of it is like over, I thought, should we just write her the check now? She's really good. But what did I didn't know how it was going to go with Todrick, right? And there was that pivotal turning point in the game. At some point, I thought, Shayna's going to take this very far. She loves the game. She knows the game. And then, Big Brother shenanigans took over, and then it was Todrick sitting at the end. But Todrick played Big Brother, regular Big Brother, but in a celebrity season. And he got creamed for that. I think Todrick got criticized and judged because we are living in a world that loves to criticize and judge, especially when you can remain anonymous and just, type it in. Thumb thugs, as we call them, right? You just be like, blah, 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 judgment. And I felt bad for the guy. He didn't break the rules of Big Brother. It's Big Brother, it's a game. If he can become square with the other people that he lived with, then who are we to judge and who are we to say? I have not heard from him since, but I have not reached out to him. I'm respecting his privacy. I kind of don't blame him. I mean, I don't know how the producers of the show feel. I don't know what kind of obligation he had, how they felt about it. But me as a human being, seeing that he canceled, I mean, you have the whole world attacking you, or what feels like the whole world attacking you. Do you really want to stand in front of the firing squad for more attack?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody in his shoes would want to do any press.
Right.
So, but I just pray that he took that time and continues to take some time in quiet reflection and kind of surround himself with people who don't have an agenda and listen to what they have to say and what advice they have. People who really care about him and know him. And then the rest is just noise. That is a good question. I doubt it. I'm going to guess no, because if they did, I probably would have heard about it. I don't think they would have thought that would be wise for many reasons or appropriate, but that's my guess. I think other shows might do something like that, but I will have to say, in my opinion, it is Big Brother, but I really trust our showrunner. I think she has wisdom and good judgment. So, yeah, I think that would be, I think a different reality show might do something like that, but that's not something Big Brother would do. If you had asked me the day after the finale, I'd probably give you a good answer.
Yeah.
I cannot remember anything that I can't separate now. I'm very happy with what did make air, and I'm not outraged. To my recollection, nothing outraged me that didn't make air. But if you're thinking of something specific, I could probably give you an opinion on it. What I always found fascinating that never made it on air was either I loved listening to Todd Bridges tell stories about back when he was in the business, because, I grew up watching him. So to hear, he's met everyone from Michael Jackson to, Lucille Ball or whoever, it was fascinating to me. Just had nothing to do with gameplay, so there was no way they would ever put it on the show. But that really, you feel like, you're a fly in the wall, and you're listening to his take on what it was like to meet, I don't know, Frank Sinatra or something like that. And it was always fascinating for me to watch the after game chatter between the house guests after someone won HOH. I'd go back in my dressing room and I would hear either the secret conversations of, how are we going to survive this week? That kind of stuff was always fun to listen to and watch. And sometimes it made air and sometimes it didn't. Yes and no. I would say for this season we just came out of for Celebrity Big Brother, there would be days where a name would pop in my head and I would just text it very informally to our showrunner and the reality head at the network. And sometimes I'd get a reaction, and sometimes it'd be crickets. But I will say Todd Bridges was one of the names that I had suggested, but it wasn't original. I think by the time I thought of that, they were like, yeah, we're already in talks with him. If we have a next season, it's not confirmed yet. Let me think of some of the names I had suggested for this year. I know I was trying to promote Debbie Gibson. You have to remember what era I grew up listening to. So, she was the biggest sensation when I was in high school. And then I think she might have done Dancing with the Stars. And then I thought, okay, Debbie Gibson, how about Tiffany? What happened to Tiffany? So a lot of my, stars are from, an era that is not, I'm not trying to say get, someone who's working right now, who's not available to give up a whole month of their life. I wanted my friend Carney Wilson to be cast because I just think she's always fun and funny. I should dig up my old texts, yeah. Well, I'm taking a little break before we have to do regular Big Brother.
Yeah.
That's not completely true. I'm working on my little Instagram show, which is called God 101, and that's basically a show that, so I used to moderate the talk, and that was kind of a gossipy, dishy daytime talk show. And now I have a different panel talk show, which is we're talking about looking at things through the lens of God. I think the pandemic really made me look at things differently, and it just, this time really gave me quiet reflection, and I thought, okay, why are we here and what's our purpose? What can I do to try and make a positive influence on my little sphere, whoever's in that sphere? So that's one thing I'm working on. And during the pandemic, like most people, I was laying around the house in sweatpants, and the other part of that equation was I was laying around in sweatpants reading scripture. So what came out of it? My Christian streetwear hoodie line, which is called Faith Center Co. So me and two other women, we started a little business, and we have a website, and we sell things on the website only at this point. And you can check us out on Instagram. It's called Faith Center Co. And faith, I think, is something that most people have in one shape, way, form, or another. And if you don't, I pray that you do, because I don't know how you have hope without having faith. They kind of go together. So it's something that I think we could all use a little bit of, or a lot of right now.